Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you speed gamers around the world, Zelda fans alike. You are tuned into Speed Gaming for yet another A Link to the Past Randomizer Standard Tournament 2021 Groups Match. I am Eudaimonistic, joined today by Adalor. We're here looking at Group AD. How are you doing today, Adalor?
Not too bad. Been watching races all morning pretty much. Seen some crazy seeds, some chill seeds. Hopefully we'll get something interesting at least here. I like interesting.
Crazy seeds, chill seeds, are we making an allusion to a potential ice rod hunt today?
I might be talking about a tricky ice rod hunt that I tracked earlier, potentially, maybe, yeah.
Well, hey, we have a lot of opportunity for a lot of items to be the important one. Today is Jexreffy versus tstew14. Polar opposites on the qualifier schedule. It's very interesting to look at how they performed. tstew 24th overall. Jexreffy squeaking in with a 127 ranking. Both separated by about, 15 points overall in score. So this is an opportunity for Jexreffy to carve a path into this group's tstew looking to stay on top.
Yeah, most of what I've seen so far personally has been like a lot of 2 and 3s. So actually sitting on and watching some 1v4 matches will hoping. I mean, obviously, like tstew, there's a good chance tstew walks away with this, but you want to think like, man, maybe Jexreffy has a good shot here and can pull off an upset, and then we'll see what happens.
Well, if there's anybody who's been around the community long enough to have a shot at it, I definitely think it'd be Jexreffy. You may have actually heard Jex on comms or possibly helping to run restreams. Definitely been around for a long time. And tstew has been racing for quite a while as well. Looks like we're off. It would appear we have a 5,000 rupee bounty on us. So hopefully our runners take that to heart and race fast, because that's only 10 arrows in the house, and we're looking at some kind of weapon here for our standard start coming soon.
Yeah, that seed earlier. We had 4 weapons in castle, or 3 or 4 weapons in castle. It's kind of crazy. Let's see how many weapons we can find this time.
And a hallmark of standard mode for those of you who are just starting to tune into the tournament and follow qualifiers, we are given some kind of weapon from the uncle. It's guaranteed. It might not necessarily be a sword, though. Today, it's going to be 10 bombs. It's going to be an interesting start here.
The tricky bomb start, the most technical and challenging of the standard weapon options. There are 7 of them. This is the one that, if you want to practice one of them, it's the bomb start.
Yeah, as it does take the most precision. Bow and arrow may be bailing us out here, though.
Never mind, we're fine. We got a bow. We only get 10 arrows for it, but still.
Yeah, and the interesting thing, too, is if the uncle gives you the, any weapon that has ammunition, whether it's magic or arrows, he'll give you a full, quiver or magic decanter's worth. If you find it there, though, in the secret passage chest, you're only getting the arrows you walked in with, so we're lucky to have the 10.
That's extremely convenient, yeah, because now there are some tricky points. Like the blue guards, they take 2 bombs each, but now you can just put them in with 2 arrows, which will be significantly faster.
Yeah, there'll have to be some consideration from these runners about how they want to manage their arrows. It would take 2 to kill this blue guard, 4 to kill the ball and chain, and then there would be 3 more used on the guards leading to the ball and chain. So ammunition is going to be kind of tight here. I'm actually kind of expecting to see maybe a bomb usage towards the end of escape, but they have enough bombs to do that if they want to preserve an arrow or 2.
Yeah. I would say we'd be likely to see at least a bomb on the green guard, probably the key right. No, those ones only take 1 hit to take out with a bomb.
Looks like tstew's going to opt for that bomb strat here. It's a little risky, too, because, the guard chases after you if he gets the alert.
Jexreffy will just go ahead and go for the bow shot, keeping it clean. And we got a green bottle for our first item here. Nice.
Yeah, that does represent a small time savings for Jexreffy here, opting to take advantage of his arrows. He will only have the 1 arrow that he can use for the key rat if he does decide to use them here. It might be worth it to use pots, actually.
Yeah, he could lead with like 1 pot and cut out half the arrow usage, or go all for it, and we'll see what he decides here.
A little bit of moonwalking guard here for tstew, and Jexreffy looking to try and bait the guard first.
That green guard did some... I don't know if I've ever seen him like walk over and just stop right there. That was kind of weird. It's like he got confused. He was like, what do I do with this?
Yeah, you don't see a whole lot of really weird RNG, but the guards do have a chance. It's interesting how the actual alert thing works. It sweeps in sectors in front of the visibility of the guards. So sometimes you'll walk right in front and just not alert them at all. Blind luck.
Oh yeah, the guard's perception works, it's this invisible line of sprites, and like it doesn't hit every possible angle, so you can like be in front of them. If it misses one of those angles, you just kind of get lucky and they don't see you. It's silly.
Well, preparedness for everything, definitely a hallmark of this tournament. For those of you who haven't been watching the entire thing, or at least want to know a little more about the game settings, we're running on a hard item pool standard setting for the entire tournament. Regarding the hard item pool, it has more to do with the caps of the items you can get. Every item's still out there in the world, but you're never going to actually get the silvers or the 15th through 20th heart piece or heart container. The game will just give you green 20s once you hit those caps.
Yep, all the items still exist, and like you just said here, like it doesn't really affect your rate of acquisition. The game just dynamically changes things to green 20s once you're at those caps. So um, every fight in every Ganon fight in this tournament, silverless. So get used to seeing it. We're gonna see a lot of it.
Yeah, you'll probably see a large chunk of Master Sword fights as well, because if we have a sword in a weird place, I mean, yeah, they could potentially find a fourth location for a sword. But, you know, given how competitive this tournament is, I imagine a lot of people skipping it. We saw a lot in the qualifiers getting really high scores because of that.
Yeah, I'm thankful that none of the qualifiers I played had to do with Master Sword Ganon, but yeah, it's definitely a valuable skill to have because you are definitely not guaranteed to run across. Just like in any seed, like you might only find 2 swords, and then you're faced with a Master Sword Silverless Ganon, which is the toughest version. Better be prepared for it.
Well, we are progressing further and further into the sewers. Looks like T-Stew's here at the Key Rat, going to use one of the 2 remaining arrows. Down to just a heart of health. Has to be a little careful here. There are some heart pots here in the secret room, though.
Yeah, thankfully rats don't do, I think, more than like a half heart of damage even on green, so you should be okay here.
And despite a slight stumble with one of the bombs, Jexreffy does switch to bow and arrow and nails the Key Rat. Should be able to get these 3 chests as well.
Yeah, and these are just a little bit of money and some ammunition, so they'll get some arrows back, which is nice. They can continue using that bow as their primary weapon until they've got something better.
Well, a blazingly fast bomb start escape, all things considered. Sub 6 minutes for T-Stew, 550-ish, which in an NMG run, if you're not considering text boxes, would be phenomenal.
Yeah. Usually bomb escape takes a little bit longer because you gotta wait for the bomb to explode and everything. We got really bailed out by that bow, so didn't really get to see the magic of the how technical the bomb escape can be. There's our map check. We got crystals on Hera and Eastern and a pendant desert.
Ooh, look at this. Jexreffy saving 3 seconds over T-Stew by remembering that map was in that sanctuary chest. That is a time save via logic of exclusion. That's going to help him out.
Hey, when we're in tight situations like this, especially with like you got a 4 against a 1 in the groups phase, like you take all the advantages you get. You got to save those frames.
And in my book, he's proven that he belongs in this. If you have the heads up to save that kind of time, I mean, you make all the same decisions as your opponent, you would still end up, ahead by the timing of retiming, actually. Because that is the window, 3 seconds to trigger an admin retiming in a race.
Imagine if it came down to 3 seconds and that was it. Jeez. Oh, there's another bottle with a pre-filled fairy. Okay, we got 2 already.
Hey, I mean, given the synchronization currently, it's within the window. All right, but we're just 7 minutes in. This is a little preemptive of me to suggest. So, on to Kakariko. We'll see Jexreffy here picking up some more money on the way in. They have enough to buy bombs, although they don't need to.
Yeah, the nice thing about, bomb escape, usually you come out with like about 3 to 5 bombs, depending how good you are at it, if you're being efficient. But that bow, again, bailing them out, they're able to come into Kakariko with a full load of bombs. They don't have to worry about it.
Alrighty, on to the blinds hut. T-Stew, the first one in.
Instant Moon Pearl, okay.
Well, not a whole lot else so far, but that is definitely worth the price of admission here. Just a little bit more ammunition, but we will have some more rupees, so we're going to have enough for the bottle vendor, bringing us to about 150 if we count the well as well.
Yep, altogether a pretty balanced opening of items. Nothing really lacking. but nothing flashy all the same. We're still waiting for something good.
Well, the town residents might be feeling a little parched for how little water there is in this well, but there's Cape that could potentially help us alongside with flippers that'll get us to more waters in the process. So a couple of good items here. We're still a sword and a lamp short of requiring Aghanim to reach the Dark World. That is something that our runners may consider once they see that cape.
And a Samaria on the bottle vendor. All right, now we got some items coming. Okay.
Cane of Samaria is a particularly spicy one. You see that early on in the seed, and it starts to impact potentially how you look at the Dark World. There's several dungeons that either require it or would benefit from it.
Yeah, we gotta wait until we have a Dark World map check, of course, even know whether that's required or how much it's needed. But you get that early, it does get you thinking about, which dungeons am I gonna need later?
It would appear that the chickens in the chicken hut were planning a revolution of sorts. They have weaponry locked behind the cracked wall. That is a sword, our first of the seed.
I would like to see a pack of chickens try to wield a sword. I might even pay money for that spectacle.
Kentucky Fried Swordsmiths. Alrighty, well, we do have bottles, so the sick kid here is going to provide. Looks like we might have missed what was in the tavern, but that's a full heart container off the sick kid, so he has some love for us.
Yep, we're gonna shot at tavern here in just a moment. What's Jexreffy gonna find? It's there's a lamp there. All right, cool.
And that is everything we need to go to Aghanim. So whether or not one of these two runners wants to make that dive, it's not an appealing one yet. We still don't have what we want for the east side of the Dark World, but something to consider.
Yeah, instant Aga access. I mean, that's also fully logical Eastern Palace. I'd be hard pressed to think they'd do Aga before that, but yeah, I mean, we've seen some interesting Aga plays already in this first round so far. Could happen again.
And it also comes down to the mentality of the runner too, because I mean, while Jexreffy qualified outright, I mean he scored enough points. I'm looking at a 1 seed here, and I might consider, what kind of play would my opponent not make, and that's a long shot gamble that could potentially pay off. I think you're right though. Eastern Palace is too appealing here. It's a crystal too.
Yeah, so there's a lot of mentality that goes into it. Think like, I'm the underdog here. Do I need to make some crazy wild plays and just get like a lucky advantage? Or do I think I'm good enough to go toe to toe to him? I can stand up and run a consistent route. We'll have to see how it plays out. The decisions he makes will tell us what he's thinking, hopefully.
And speaking of one-offs, Magina here for tstew. I think I appreciate Jexreffy's move more here. He's going to find out it's Misery Mire for the green pendant, but I mean, it was a hallmark of the qualifiers to go after the consistency plays. If you're thorough, you tend to score higher.
Sahasral is also got a sword today.
And we're not seeing much out of Agina either, so that's a nice, healthy early advantage for Jexreffy. He is on his way to Eastern Palace. We'll see if the South Shore has more to offer, but tstew going to put that off for now. So that is a pretty nice chunk of time that Jexreffy has on top of tstew going in.
Looks like he's going to take a peek at the island here. And we've got just a bomb pack. Oh, we got flippers actually already. Right. He's going to go to Hobo.
Yeah, for how early and how low, logically speaking, the sphere is for that. I mean, that's a sphere 1 check to get those flippers. This is sphere 2. It's pretty accessible. It's a good decision overall, and you can save and quit out of here if you want.
Yeah, early flippers is always like one of those items that really throws me off. I'm just like, it never sticks in my head for some reason. Like, it's one of those weird items to have so early. But it's nice because you don't have to worry about fake flipper setups or anything like that.
Well, that was all of the money that the hobo under the bridge had to buy more lumber for his campfire, so that one will probably go out soon. 20 rupees. tstew not turning that down either. I mean, you still need a whole 500 to get the Zora stuff, but he may end up going to the area anyway. He can access Waterfall Cave. No, Eastern.
That money is for the betterment of Hyrule, so we will take everything we can get.
Octoroks don't appear to be paying out, so he'll try to gather as many rupees as he can. The back of Eastern Palace, a possibility if we want to consider that, as Jexreffy finds our big key here on the right side.
still on track for an ideal Eastern Palace. We've got 1 item in the big key so far. We're hoping to get 2 more items and not have to make the loop around to the right side, to the right loop around the right to the left. You know, the big key chest.
3 rights make a left, right?
Exactly.
3 rights make a D-boost big key chest, but hopefully we don't have to see that, as you're saying. Nice use of bow to kill the other not quite yet spawned Stalfos, and we see another item here, full heart container.
Already up to 6 hearts here, rocking the health pretty early.
All right, moment of truth, big chest. Are you friendly to us today?
Nope, that's a compass. So now Jexreffy will go ahead and make that walk around and grab that. Hopefully the 3rd item. Well, it's either the map or the last item is there. We'll see. But either way, he's gonna be thorough here.
I gotta say, this is one of my favorite introductory dungeons in a Zelda game. You know, back in the day when this was released, 2 different layers of verticality. You know, you see the place you're gonna go to later. Some cool design here.
Oh yeah, Eastern's really cool. Like you said, you've got this bridge, and you're like, man, maybe if you're really studying the room as you go through it, you're like, I wonder how I get up there. And like later in the dungeon, you're like, oh, I've been here before. This is super cool.
So that's my public PSA, folks. If you see somebody who has never played this game before, let them figure out this dungeon on their own. You definitely don't want to spoil that.
Get them into Misery Mire before Ice Palace and teach them Icebreaker though.
Yeah, for their sanity.
Because Vanilla Ice Palace is the worst.
Alrighty, well that is a big 20 here in the big key chest. That will take us on to Armos. There's a possibility of tstew saving some time over Jexreffy with the gamble here. The 50-50 shot, but that would be really rough on you later trying to think about it. And rupees for Jexreffy?
Gonna take this rupee room. I like this. I've seen this. I've made this play myself a couple times where I'm like, I need money for pod. Let's mirror to Eastern and get clear it out, get the rupee room, then go back and get Kiki. Sometimes you just need that cash.
Yeah, and it's a nice healthy chunk. I mean, those may just be 5 rupees each for the pickups, but I mean, there's a healthy. What is it? I'm not good at quick math, but it's enough to get you most of the way to pod if you weren't already.
Yeah, that's 90 in that room. Yeah. We have been pretty thin on rupees too, so if they're thinking like you've got flippers, Zoras, and logic, you gotta think about that. So if you've got an opportunity to pick up some more money, maybe a good idea, especially since we don't have a glove yet. So the rupee farming caves are not an option as of yet.
So looking at opportunities to be efficient here, we will hopefully see Jexreffy finishing up the Armos fight as soon as the stream's back. But tstew here has an opportunity to save a little bit of time overall in this dungeon. This is kind of a great place to practice things like pumping. This particular hallway, you can go up and down with it. And then, of course, your D-boost strat to get the big chest or big key chest here. We have a little more health to work with, but the more efficient you can do that, the smoother your whole experience goes. It's one of those things where you take more time, it's worse.
Yep, there are so many ways to optimize, like just getting through this game quickly. And tstew, yeah, showing off that one with the little damage boost. You take just 2 hits, and you get in there and touch the button without having to deal with the killing all the things in the room to release the anti-fairies. You know, the vanilla way that we all learned. But no, we can do it quick. He's gonna also take those rupees. That's good heads-up knowledge by both of these guys.
Unfortunately, a little bit of damage and magic loss from the anti-fairy. Those are going to be kind of hard to dodge there.
There are 2 anti-fairies in that room. It's honestly kind of mean.
If I recall correctly, though, that's the first time in the vanilla game you're introduced to them. So definitely, yeah, right before this room. All right, looks like we got Jexreffy doing the South Shore checks at this point. He should have that first crystal.
Yeah, we'll just assume that he does, because I'd be hard-pressed to believe he'd leave without getting it. And Armos Knights is not a terribly challenging boss in terms of killing players, so we'll just say he's got it and move on.
All right, tstew taking some time to pick up extra arrows on the way in. We got boots.
Soggy boots.
Well, we'll hopefully ignore the possibility of Trenchfoot here as Jexreffy heads on over to Agina's cave. We'll save quite a bit of time over tstew getting that.
He's just showing off the bottom right setup for the Armos Quick Quill. Does it, making it look easy. It's interesting to think, like, the fact that both of these guys like did not even get the boots from the dam before getting into other places. It's like interesting choice. I mean, it worked out. I mean, you could have had the boots a little bit earlier, sure.
Yeah, and it's not uncommon for people to go that direction first, so that's kind of weird to see.
Tisu's still avoiding the dam here. Okay. Wonder what his thoughts are on not getting the not getting those 2 checks.
Yeah, definitely a scary thing. But we're getting a book here out of the Bonk Rocks, which is interesting considering they were just in the desert area.
Mini Moldarm's going to give out half magic, one of the best safety items in the game. Love to see it. And an ice rod. No ice rod hunt today. That's nice.
Or at the very least, a very brief one.
Ooh, there's something on Lumberjack. Was that a fire rod or a hook shot?
I couldn't see it very well, but I'm going to take your word that that was something important.
That looked important. It was some vertical slim thing. We might have an Agaseed here. Or, ooh, maybe a... Oh, was that a shovel? Oh, no. You hate to see that.
Oof, big oofs. And it was Jexreffy who just checked that, right?
That was on Jexreffy's side, yeah.
Well, he's heading immediately to Aghanim, so maybe that is something more important.
He's going for it. He might have saw a fire rod or something. Well, I guess we're going to see an Aga play here.
Alrighty, so approximately 5 minutes, assuming a pretty good climb. Jexreffy with a nice, healthy advantage heading into it. I'm going to assume that's a critical item, as T-Stew's finding just 20 rupees here in Ice Rod Cave.
Yep, and I mean, it's worth considering also that we do have a Moon Pearl and no gloves or hammer, so like this very well could be our Dark World access. It's looking more and more likely as we run thin on checks left in this light world.
Yeah, by the looks of things, we're going to get some Zora checks here out of T-Stew, so this would be the one kind of big chunk of items we didn't see. And according to chat, I believe T-Stew didn't actually drain the dam, so he does not have boots. That's a big advantage for Jexreffy here.
Yeah, weird that he hasn't gone for that yet, but I assume he'll get to it eventually. At least I hope he gets to it eventually.
I know some folks like to try to hold that off until Swamp if possible. Could have just been a mental error, though.
Just to try to optimize it once you've got Mirror, assuming you're doing Swamp. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. It's just hard to put off a couple of Sphere 1 checks and think like, man, I don't know, I'll just hold off these later. It's a tricky play.
Yeah, the Sphere 1 dodge, that's a gutsy move. Well, Zorledge not looking like anything more than just a single rupee as consolation for the 500 they might spend on, I'm assuming, something garbage, but T-Stew does not have the cash to turn that in, so save and quit out of there. And looks like he's heading for the castle.
If he has not seen the item on the Lumberjack ledge, and he does not have the boots to even think that's obtainable, but he's going for it, and he's deemed that appears to be Dark World access. And honestly, at this point, like, what's left to even check, I'm pretty sure this is our way forward.
So if I had to take a guess here, you know, I don't think those boots are found anytime soon for T-Stew. You know, it would probably require a mirror or some reason to think he can go to Swamp.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what our Dark World dungeon layout looks like, but currently lacking... Oh, we only have one piece of Swamp access in the flippers. We're still missing Hammer, Mirror, and Hookshot, so... Right now, we're not even looking at being anywhere close to Swamp access, so he might be missing those boots for a while. It's interesting.
Well, for those of you cheering for Jexreffy today, that's a huge boon. And, I mean, it's a best-of-3 series, but Jex would have a great chance of taking an early lead in the series if that boots ends up being like an hour difference between the two of them for finding them.
Yeah, scoring a win in game 1 could just be big, like both from only one more to advance in the set, also from a psychological standpoint, like you 4 taking down a 1 in groups, like that's it's pretty big.
Alrighty, well, a required Aghanim fight today for Aghanim 1, not normally required by the rule set or the win condition, but for those of you who are uninitiated, haven't seen the fight, or I guess don't know how it works, first and fifth attacks of each cycle are predetermined. The first one a reflectable shot, the fifth being a lightning bolt that you can't reflect. 2, 3, and 4 are a 50-50 chance of that or a blue ball, reflectable or blue ball, and basically it's just coin flip odds from there. Looking like a not-so-fun fight.
Yeah, he's not particularly being kind here, is he? Okay, not quite worst RNG, but still.
So for those of you wondering why such an early Aghanim play when we haven't even seen things on Jax's side, like, say, Mini Moldorm Cave, we found boots in the dam from the drained chest, which tstew missed. And Jex did take those boots and check both for Book in the Bonk Rocks, and the Lumberjack has something of importance. So he took the plunge to dive directly into Aghanim. We'll probably see that Mini Moldorm Cave if the early Dark World doesn't do much for us.
We got red crystals on Pod and Thieves and pendants. Looks like TR and I think Meyer?
Yeah, we had seen the green pendant hint from Zahazula earlier.
That's true. So that's Samaria, like, not necessarily required for completing a dungeon. We'll have to see if that ends up still being needed for something later. Maybe the GTBK.
And if nothing else, the dungeons that we do require will be much more convenient for having that Keen of Samaria.
Oh yeah, you love to have Samaria when you have to do ice. Just Icebreaker is so good.
And given the required swamp, that'll definitely save a fair amount of time with the diver down tech.
Yep, he's running back up. Jex is running back up to Lumberjack. He has seen something important. We're gonna get another look at it here and know for sure what he's found. But he knows he'll want that immediately. I'm guessing it's Fire Rod, considering you go right for this, and then you can get your way into. God, where do you go from there? We'll see. Oh, it's hammer. Oh, that's even better than Fire Rod. Jeez. Okay.
So I guess the critical juncture of this seed is, does tstew look for the Lumberjack having done Aghanim? I mean, you wouldn't have boots, but it'd still be something you'd consider checking. That would lead him to be like, oh, I got to find these boots now.
Oh, geez. So, I mean, if I had to put myself in his shoes, I haven't checked Lumberjack. I'm doing Aghanim for Dark World access. I feel like I just go straight into Pod because I'm convinced that that's the right progression here without knowing that there's a hammer on Lumberjack, which unfortunately is going to be really mean to him here.
Yeah, and we're going to see a single pass here for Jexreffy to finish up the eastern area. He'll still have the green pendant turn in later if he wants to do that. But yeah, I mean, tstew guaranteed double dip here if he goes in, and he has to go in. This is the only place he can really go.
This is huge for him potentially here. As long as tstew is missing both boots and that knowledge that the hammer's on there, this is just going to be time that Jexreffy is gaining. Like, this could be a really big upset.
So I would imagine that if you're tstew and you think that you've checked the dam, you're probably going to try and farm the rupees in the back of Palace of Darkness here to get the Zora item.
Yeah, because he's at 460 right now. There are a lot of rupees in that room. Like
yeah, there's definitely enough.
Like about 180 or something like that. I think it's a lot.
Yeah, so he'll definitely be on Zora money, probably a good healthy chunk of the way towards things like Dig Game. He can't actually access Dig Game yet.
Yeah, meanwhile, we're probably still looking at progression in Pod here because, like, we've only got East Dark World access, as tends to happen with Aga seeds like this. We're gonna need a hook shot or 2 gloves to get anywhere else in the Dark World.
Well, I don't know how Jexreffy is going to feel in this situation, but I got to think that he's definitely feeling like he has a shot here. He's making the right calls right now.
Oh, absolutely. I honestly, I think if I'm in his place, I feel great that I've discovered that information is there, because I'm thinking most of my opponents, especially like, are not going to necessarily look at lumberjack. Like, that's a play you make. You want to see if there's something spicy there, and you can use that leverage, that advantage, and just run with it.
And we've heard a number of runners over the course of the last, I don't know, several years of playing this game talking about the meta, where you only check it if you have the boots. I don't think Jexreffy probably thinks his opponent forgot the boots, but I mean, when we look at the, completion time later, this is a gigantic advantage when you get it that early in the race.
I mean, if anything, you think maybe tstew might have gotten the boots early. He was still a little bit late to boots, but you got to think like the dam checks are just like immediate. So you got to think that your opponent has those boots, is going to have them for the whole game. And if there's someone you know is of a higher execution caliber, there's a glove. They might be leveraging them better than you. So you got to take every advantage you can get.
So this is interesting, that glove that you just mentioned, being in the basement of the front half. tstew will find it. Does tstew leave after finding that? Because does the glove do much besides give you the mountain?
It does open the mountain. If we find a second glove, that would be even more interesting, because if we get both gloves, that's proper Dark World access from the village portal. That could really throw him off.
Yeah, and I hate that we kind of have to just, cast this scenario where tstew is falling worse and worse into a vortex, but I mean, that's kind of how this is going to turn out with the boots location. It's really critical. The sooner he finds them, the more even this race can become.
Yeah, there's a ton of theorizing and conjecture we can sit here and do, and that's kind of the hot topic of the seed. Like, it's that's our big scenario here. Like, how soon will he get these critical items?
Well, I've heard all kinds of lofty estimations of what boots really save you. I've heard as much as 5 minutes per 30 minutes of gameplay, but it's certainly a lot. And for a race that gives you them early on, proper execution makes a big difference. But it looks like tstew's setting up for a death warp here, optimizing his route pretty well.
Oh yeah, that was oh, he's got a ferry. Oh no, the free ferry we had. I forgot about that too.
That's extra rough, because that's a lot less safety later on. We're going to see a hammer jump here from Jexreffy. Looks like he's getting the setup pretty good. The bomb looks right.
He's got the pixels just right. He's done it. Yep. There's our first medallion.
And the most useful one.
Medallion that not only, I think that one, oh, there's our second medallion. The second most useful one.
I mean,
hat trick. Give me the hat trick, please.
I mean, Quake does, it messes up dead rocks, right?
Yeah, I mean, Quake is useful for some very specific situations, but yeah, Bombo's the most useful for both opening up Ice Palace and the fact that I think it defeats the most enemies compared to the other two.
Well, the seed opting to toss a coin or two to our racers. Looks like Jexreffy's going to walk back through the main hub room as tstew makes his way to the basement to pick up the rupees, presumably.
Yep, and having cleaned out the dungeon, we are on our way to the boss.
All right, no fancy sword beam strats to avoid menuing, but we have quick swap, so maybe not necessary anyway. I'd say this sequence of quick swapping is probably some of the tightest and most annoying to get good at, although he does have the hearts to... Nah, he's not going to wait. I'm surprised he didn't get those, though.
Yeah, the quick swaps in the back here, because you got to move like from Samaria to bow for that room, and then you got to get from the bow to the hammer. It's there's a lot of swapping that you do in the back pod here to make it really optimal. And then also, like, if you're gonna quick swap to something that range to hit the switch, or if you're me, I usually just move up to the ice rod if I have it. It's like the most efficient thing, I feel like. But that's a menu, because it's like, I don't know how many clicks I can really do that fast.
Certainly a struggle, and if you play the game, the vanilla speedrun on MG, which is the most popular of the speedrun categories, L and R are used mostly for clearing out text boxes. Really, that's the only use for them, so that can get a little bit weird across your wires in that front. Jexreffy's got to watch his health. He does have a fairy, but 2 hearts walking into Helmasaur King, a little bit scary.
Yeah, we've got a fairy, and I think a green potion was our first one. So maybe in a weird situation, he can whip out the cape if he's really desperate, but yeah, I think he'll be okay.
Alrighty, 17 hammer smacks to the mask and knock out the Helmsaur King's face, leading to phase 2. Tstew on his way to check Lumberjack, it looks like, so he'll know about the hammer.
Oh, that's good for him, actually. He's going to know that he's got to find those boots somewhere.
Looking like some arrows here, 8 total, and Jexreffy's clear.
Jexreffy also showed off a little bit of a tech you can do with the Helmsaur if you want to have a safer fight. You can hold out your sword and use the hammer while it's out, and that does extend the hitbox of it by a little bit. Makes it easier to take down the mask.
Yeah, the knockback is slightly slower, but it is a much more consistent fight, and I personally recommend it for anybody who takes deaths to the boss.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically NMG Helmsaur. You've got like Master Sword, what, 7? Is this 7 hearts NMG? 7 or 8? Yeah, it's basically the same equipment level. And Helmstar, like, he hits for 2 hearts, and if he rushes you forward and pins you on the wall, you can just end up dead. So, like, taking some safety in that boss, honestly, I don't blame him.
And when Helmsaur is lowered lower on the screen, like closer to the door, that's where the sword outstretch method's actually a little bit faster because you don't have as much recoil. But I mean, that's highly RNG dependent. So
Yeah.
Old Man's going to give us more ammunition. We had the Bush Crab give us some 10 arrow drops as well. So we have a full quiver walking up the mountain. Tstew is going to be the first one heading up to the Hera area. We don't have any ways to traverse the rest of the mountain.
Yep, he is on his way up. Still lacking boots, so he's going to be a little bit slow on the climb. No fancy super speed tricks to employ here. We're going to see what he finds up here. We've got a blue rupee on top of Spec Rock. Nothing happening there. And Jexreffy's going to give us a ped check. He's got that boots. He's going for... Yeah, well, we got 300 rupees. Nothing necessary there. And
oh, wow.
Did Tstew blind check that? Like he just walked into it?
Yeah, I think he believes that there's really nothing else for him, so...
that paid out. He's got a mirror now, so now he can go straight to Hera.
Yeah, well, optimal as it may be, potentially the red herring, more things leading Tstew away from the Sphere 1 boots, which is the most painful feeling. Like, when Tstew watches this back, I'm sure he's going to cringe at that.
Yeah, this is wild because, like, you got to think he thinks he's just, like, on like, the linear progression path and just, like, stumbling upon the stumbling. But he might be convinced that was, like, the absolute right play to make. And we'll see. But at least he's got mirror. We know he's got to get to swamp at some point, so he's got to find those boots sooner or later.
Yeah, an interesting side note as well about Tstew's route right now. He does not have that book that Jexreffy had, so he didn't get to check the Ether tablet, and that could also potentially have something important. So it will be a second trip up the mountain to check this part of the mountain. Presuming we don't hit Go mode before that's necessary.
Yeah. Hera gives us 1 item in the map chest, and then we've got the big key from the basement. No hook shot, so we are going to climb the normal way.
Pretty nifty sword spin strat to take out the beetles. We have several more checks higher up in the tower. Tstew does have his rupees too, so whether or not he considers the Zora item, I don't think he wants to go there anytime soon, though. He's already been nearby. He does have mirror he could do with catfish.
Yep, mirror to Catfish Zora will be very efficient. Jexreffy's found 1 item in Skull Woods, I think, so far, coming up with a full heart from the big chest.
Good bomb jump, not great check, just a map here in the big chest of Tower of Hera. We'll have the magic he doesn't need, but Moldorm here, potentially a little bit of a scary fight, 2.5 hearts, probably more frustrating of a fight than anything.
Yeah. At least he's got Master Sword, so we can get and Hammer. So either way, he can get him down in 3 hits.
Oh, good. He hit the switch, so he's got more health to work with. You know, the hammer is not exactly a safe fight, but I prefer it myself. Just so much easier to get 3 hits in.
He's going to do cape spins. Interesting. That's one way to do it. I also like the hammer, too. It's definitely a more... a tricky fight. You have to really pay attention to what Moldorm's doing, have a really good feel for the RNG. But I like it more than sword spins, because with sword spins, you're just less mobile.
Definitely a heads up play though to use that cape because you're gonna get the magic refill. So something I don't normally think about myself, but certainly a very good way to more safely do this boss.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, well that brings us up to 2 crystals apiece. Tower of Hera, the route to it giving us the mirror. Whether or not that ends up hurting us later is hard to say. No fire source for the base, or he has a lamp.
Yep, he does have the lamp, so we are headed down to get the coffee break chest. He'll have a little bit of a break. Yeah, he's I mean, as far as in his eyes, he's on a boots hunt, and he's going for it. I don't blame him for checking this when you know what your progression is, and you are kind of focused on like anything. You don't want to leave anything behind at this point.
Alrighty, well, Jexreffy has finished up all of Skullwoods available to him for the moment. I'm going to head into Village of Outcasts.
Got ourselves a quarter heart in the C-shaped house, so called because it is a house whose insides are shaped in the letter C. They'll bomb up in the brewery next. We don't know what they're making in the brewery, but they sure are making it.
A little bit of love in the brewery.
Another quarter heart. One of these quarter hearts will give us a refill and stop the beeping, I swear.
Either that or one of these enemies will find a way.
Somehow we will stop the beeping.
At least we can thank him for not going for the faster beeps.
Ooh, powder. We can stop the beeping with that. Find an anti-fairy.
He is heading into Thieves Town. There are options. At least I think he's heading into Thieves Town. Yeah, okay. Fun fact, if you... Sorry, go ahead.
No, you.
If you pull on the door for Thieves Town from the left side of it, you can actually reduce the rolling back animation. It's a fun little speed tech.
Oh, because you can pull it from far enough that you've run to the bush. I have never tried that. Cool.
Next time on Frame Savers.
Wow. Okay, so we just found 2 hearts in a row, and also Jexreffy showing off that you can powder the bunny beam. When you've got powder, don't forget that one pot in the bottom right there has a bunny beam under it. So now we're rocking 10 hearts. The beeping has stopped. Yay!
Rejoice, rejoice. Well, we've seen some interesting things out of tstew on the way to Catfish. I saw some pretty novel use of Ice Rod to take care of the 50-50 Popo, also known as the lottery check. They call it the lottery because you might lose the lottery and just get hit regardless of what you do.
Yeah, that Popo's mean. So we got 3 items in the front of Thieves Town. I mean, we'll see a full clear anyway, but not much to speak of in the back. Catfish kicks out a big 20 for us. Nothing exciting. tstew is going to actually get our Zora check. We've already seen the ledge. It is a single green rupee, but we'll actually get pay the fish 500 rupees to find out what he has for us today.
Yeah, there's some possibility here that this could be a critical juncture for tstew. If this is a necessary item, like, say, the hook shot or the fire rod, Jexreffy not quite at 500 rupees just yet. It could be a minute before he finds enough.
Yeah, potentially. I would love to see a hook shot here. That would make the seed very, very interesting.
Or, gosh, another glove.
Man, we're looking for a second glove, too. No, we just get a blue boomerang. Not quite sure that's worth it.
Yeah, the ultimate insult, the ultimate injury as the... I guess it's the better of the boomerangs, in my opinion, but we do already have the red one out there, found by Jexreffy.
Yeah, blue is definitely the more useful of the two in terms of some of the strategies you can employ with it, especially in GT. There's some nice ways to hit the crystal switches in the basement.
I also like not having lag.
Also, yeah, the red boomerang, while I may like it personally because of its capabilities, it sure is a laggy item, yes. I think tstew may have like a tracking error. Maybe he marked off the dam but didn't get it, and he's struggling to think like what's wrong.
Yeah, the pause you're seeing on screen just a moment there, he is definitely racking his brain about what's missed here.
This is unfortunate because it's a tough situation. I mean, I think many of us have probably been there where you lose track of something. You've especially like in entrance modes. We won't even talk about that, but like you think you checked something but you didn't, and you're like, well, what am I missing? And at some point you have to start doubling back and just like rechecking stuff.
Well, the possibility or plausibility of a comeback here really does depend on tstew finding these boots, I'd say, within the next few minutes. This is already pretty deep into the seed.
Yeah, we're coming up on just after 43 minutes now, and he's stuck. He's like, what's going on here? As much as we want to say, like, we'd love to see the underdog take a win here, not like this. Just not like this.
Well, a credit to Jexreffy, he's playing the seed exactly right, and if you want to if you want a pun, you can ask Blind. Take a stab at that. But if you want, to secure your berth into the brackets, this is how you do it. You just got to be consistent and, play to the best of your ability. And I think even if tstew finds those boots early in the race, this is a competitive race.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Jexreffy, to his credit, he is screaming through the seed. Honestly, a really good pace, and not just with having the boots. He's made the right calls. He's doing really well for himself. He's finished up the blind fight. Didn't get the scripted version, but he still made it look like really not that bad. He's got his 3rd crystal now.
Yeah, and when the blind fight starts going off the rails, it's really a test of your reaction speed. It's very difficult once blind is locked in the upper corner. So Jex made the right choice to let blind cross the room, have a more manageable fight from there, and he didn't even have to use his fairy. It was a very good recovery.
Yep. Now, even if it did get out of hand, we do have the cape. Cape's one of the best things you can have for the blind fight. Either that or burner. Either way, burner's laggier, but you just basically get free hits on blind with it. So either invincibility item is great to know that you have just that safety in case you do get off script. But still, practice the blind script.
Alrighty, dig game here. Just going to give us some more quiver ammunition. Jexreffy on his way to do the south sweep of the Dark World, as we see tstew doubling back over the village to make sure we didn't lose anything there.
Here's something we don't usually see in these standard seeds. Jexreffy is opting to play archery to get some money. I'm assuming he wants to have enough for Zora, and this is very reasonable. We haven't seen a whole lot of money in this seed so far.
Yeah, so this is just securing that in advance of hopefully going all the way to Catfish. That's what it looks like.
He's showing off also the pretty much the easy mode strat for the archery game. You stand on the very right side and fire when the squid crosses the middle of the second curtain from the right, and you'll get it pretty much every time. You can do that like 3 times in a row, and then then the pattern gets a little bit off on the hands. So you have to reset it, but it's free money. And tstew is headed down to the dam. He may have realized, or he's at least rechecking, that he hasn't gotten this one yet.
Yep, he sees that the water hasn't been drained. Very likely to realize it now. Well, actually, I wouldn't stay drained. Yeah, so he's still going to pull it.
Yeah, he'll still pull it. He sees that chest is open, but he's going to get his good news that he's going to be back on track after this and can start trying to do his best to catch up.
So I believe this is like a full half an hour later that tstew's getting these boots. However, he does know exactly where he needs to take them. He's going to save and quit back to the sanctuary as we get a hype cave check. Archery rendered unnecessary by the 320 rupees in there, unfortunately. But
all that money we suddenly acquired, yeah.
I guess Jax has enough for some extra potions later. Which, I mean, depending on where we find a 3rd, 4th sword location, or if at all, might actually be a pretty solid thing to have in your pocket.
Oh, look at this. We have a play for Pyramid Fairy already. Yeah, this is fine right here. Like, you've done your route to Hype Cave, and you can insert these 2 checks here. It's a shame he doesn't have the mirror from the mountain. You can make it even easier to do this, but yeah, with how early Pyramid Fairy is available, it makes you wonder what's going to be in here.
And I really like this routing. This is taking him all around the world. He has the money for it. And this is going to take him to that Catfish, which unfortunately will not take him to Zora, but he'll at least finish that chain. And with flippers, it's pretty easy to get back there fast.
And there we go. tstew's got his hammer from the lumberjack ledge. He is getting on track here. Don't leave us in suspense, please. Please let us see.
Jack's trolling all of us.
Oh no, not the internet.
Well, we'll find that out eventually.
just missed it, of course. Wonder if he has an on-screen tracker.
No worries there, though. We do have tracking personnel who can give us an assist on that. Keep an eye out for his next menu. tstew, however, going to head into Village of Outcasts. Looks like he's going to start the same way that Jexreffy did in the Dark World. Jex winning the lottery on the way over to Catfish. Didn't have to use the ice rod. Actually, I don't think he has the ice rod. Where do we find the ice rod?
Ice rod was in Mini Moldorm Cave. He hasn't been in Mini Moldorm, so like, it's interesting because like he still hasn't. He also hasn't completed South Shore.
Good lord.
Oh, I just realized like I can't even check his on-stream tracker because, well, no, the delay should be not that far behind. I don't think he came out with anything with Pyramid Fairy. It looks like we have the same items here.
Well, we'll look out for a double confirm afterwards, but Jexreffy heading into Mini Moldorm Cave now, so should get that ice rod. I believe that was the only thing of real importance there.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's the only thing that's in here, and that'll kind of shore up the differences. And then the only thing he has to get that tstew doesn't is the mirror from Spec Rock Cave, which honestly shouldn't be hard to find at this point.
Yeah, I would think this is the natural conclusion of his route here. We might see Jexreffy take the time to take Whirlpool to Zora directly from here. Wouldn't be that bad. If he wants to do Ice Rod Cave, that's definitely available to him, but that's only going to be 20 rupees.
Yeah, I can't imagine he doesn't clean up the rest of that while he's down here. Yeah. And there's his half magic as well. Oh yeah, half magic's in here too. Right.
I stand corrected. Half magic particularly nice in this format of the tournament. You know, there's a chance of, you know, Master Sword Silverless. You want that half magic.
Oh yeah, you want to have as much magic as possible, especially for like not just Gen. And there are some other fights that benefit heavily from it, like Victorious is one that comes to mind. If you have to have like, you're never gonna have silvers for Victorious. That fight's always gonna be kind of scary. So if you have a cape or Burna, like just being able to use that twice as long in that fight is can be really huge.
Yeah, and I'm hoping for the runner's sake they don't have to get that green pendant, but if they do, in this seed, they would definitely benefit from already having this. Definitely a health advantage for Jexreffy by a couple hearts, or 1 heart maybe? Yeah, 1 heart. He still has his fairy available to him as well, as far as I can tell.
Got a little bit too close with the pit a couple times trying to set up his water walk, but looks like he's got it now.
Yeah, the water walk's extra nice because Zora is just so much faster with it. Oh, but he's going to go to the hobo, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got to go hobo too. Yeah, this is fine.
I mean, yeah, that definitely saves a lot of time as well.
Yeah, getting to run all the way to hobo is nice. If he had the mirror, he can wait until Dark World and check hobo from there, but he doesn't know where the mirror is just yet.
So as far as our unknowns go for finishing out this seed, we definitely still need the Titan's Mitts for Ice Palace, Fire Rod for Skull Woods, and Hookshot for Swamp Palace. That's pretty much what we're looking for, isn't it?
Yeah, assuming that we don't need we had to fetch anything from Myra or Turtle Rock, and that they don't require Quake to do so. Yeah, we're looking at go minus 3.
Not a bad place to be as a runner for Jexreffy here. Just 52 minutes in.
Go minus 4. I'm sorry. Mirror, Hookshot, Fire Rod, and a second glove.
Right. But yeah, I mean, that's definitely surmountable considering how few dungeons we've actually been into. 4 total. Yeah. So, I mean, there's still quite a lot of world to explore here.
Yeah, this one, like, for how the opening was, it did open up once you got into having your Dark World access proper. It's like it's given us a lot of options. There's going to be, I feel like we're going to see just like constant divergence here until the very end.
All right, double boomerang. Jexreffy taking the time to pick it up, adding to his quick swap management. I don't know if I agree with that choice, but you know he's grabbing it.
Yeah, he's got the red already. It's only a single slot at least.
Perhaps he also shares my bias towards blue being better.
I mean, like you said, it is the better one for certain strategies.
I appreciate that you're clarifying that's not an objective statement.
I mean, a few seconds there to save a few seconds of GT. Hey, what's the difference?
Fair enough. Fair enough. And here comes chat with their opinions as well about Ancillus setups. I see Yagama.
I'll say it again. I'm in the red rang best rang group, but I recognize that blue is mechanically superior in terms of speed running.
Alrighty. Well, we had the book for quite a while now. Jexreffy going to be the first one to pay to advantage. He'd already checked the pedestal, but he's heading into desert now.
Yep, we found that book from the Bonk Rocks, and just to confirm that chat's asking about the mirror, because it is kind of like, where's the mirror? The mirror is indeed in Spec Rock Cave, and tstew happened upon that a little while ago. Jexreffy has yet to even get up the mountain.
Yeah, looking at it, this is one of the first checks in a little while since Hera that tstew's doing over Jexreffy here at the Graveyard Ledge. Just a little bit of health. We'll be able to check the King's Tomb as well if he keeps his portal available to him.
Which he does, yes. Jexreffy so far has found a big key in a map in Desert Palace. We're going to see what's in the big chest. Is it a small key? It's a small key, of course it is. This is pretty typical desert, really. You got to go back and forth a couple times to even have a chance at getting all the items.
I will say it's nice that there are good dash lines in this dungeon. Not filled with other brutes.
Yeah, it's very satisfying to run all the way through this, yeah. First item is that's a Sankart. Gives us 12.
Yes, the ever elusive Sankart that you don't always know is actually Sankart, plus a shovel.
There's our shovel. And he's going to immediately peace out. He's decided that it is a pendant boss, not going to bother with it. Understandable.
Yeah, and he actually did do the scout for pedestals, so I mean, good reason not to bother. There's no bet to hedge against.
Oh yeah, I forgot. He already checked that. Yeah, we know there's a rupee pile on Ped, so he knows that's not necessary. True thing. All right, what are we digging up today? I would love a vanilla flute. I would laugh. It'd be funny. Nice dig dash. That's cool. Nope, just a heart piece.
Well, dig dashes and dig dugs, a little bit of health. He is finding a lot of these heart pieces throughout the seed. As a reminder, folks, 13 of the hearts are available, and then the 14th is always reserved for the Sanctuary heart. So we're very nearly at that cap. Jexreffy can find a couple more heart pieces in a container, or whatever combination gets him to that.
Yeah, there's something to be said for potentially not picking up heart pieces to hope you get like a lucky refill later. But then if you want the health, oh, look, another fetch quest. There's a mushroom in Cave 45. If you want the health, like, they're easy to pick up. There's no shame in wanting to get stocked up in case you just want the safety.
Yeah, and given the heart item pool, definitely want to take every advantage you have available to you. Just don't get the ones that are way out of your way.
Yeah.
Speaking of...
simultaneous heart piece pickups, and he's at 13.
All right, so I think that there's either going to be 4 more heart pieces in his future or a regular heart container. We've already seen the Sank heart itself. We are capped. I don't believe you can get the... am I mistaking this? But you can't get the blue armor?
Yeah, no blue. So yeah, the hard pool mimics basically like what you get in NMG, to where you're stuck with green mail and 3 swords, 1 bow, 14 hearts maximum, and 2 shields. That's the one I'll often forget. Yeah,
you can get up the fire shield, which is, I mean, I guess there's definitely a chance you get that in NMG, but most people wouldn't. The opportunity would be when you're getting your flippers, but...
Yeah.
Alrighty, so we're reaching pretty close to the hour point of the race. As a brief recap for those of you who strolled in after the race had started, The big story of this race was the difference between Jexreffy and tstew checking this sunken item here at the dam, which was the boots. And Jexreffy making all the right plays to scout things out based on those boots. Happened to get the hammer quite a bit earlier as we had a forced Aghanim in play to get to the Dark World.
tstew is making an interesting call here. He's diving into hook-shotless swamp.
I think I like the decision because he probably feels he's very behind right now.
Yeah. I honestly don't blame him with how late he got to the boots. He might feel like he has to make some plays now. This is definitely a call to make.
Which, if this ends up being a bust, no hook shot in here, this could be massive for Jexreffy to pull even further ahead.
Yep, and he has spotted his mirror in Spec Rock Cave. He'll be grabbing that and proceeding up the mountain to Hera. Get a bomb jump here too. Nope, he's gonna just take the drop. Okay. Spec Rock bomb jump, one of those ones that's more specific to pull off than any other bomb jump, because you can't just ledge spin and line it up and just do it for free. You got to have a very specific pixel lineup for it. So, not necessarily blame anyone for not knowing how to do it, because you got to learn it.
Or even not wanting to chance it. You know, I mean, this is one of the very few 3-tile gap bomb jumps available, like one of 2, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And that will take Jexreffy into Tower of Hera. There is no hookshot available to make that faster than tstew's route, so we will get to see the ether check, though.
Yeah, another potential advantage here, depending on what comes out of this tablet. Nope, green 20.
And I'm going to presume that's either the health or the mail upgrade.
Yeah, at this point we're going to see a lot of him because he's almost the health cap. Yeah, he's either got 4 heart pieces, up to 4 heart pieces, or one boss container left somewhere.
So. Ooh, dead rocks.
I think that was just a big 20 on the island. I couldn't quite see.
Yeah, I couldn't see it either, but we have a forced divergence here for Jexreffy opting to just, instead of waiting for them to unfreeze, let's just do the spiral cave.
Yeah, those dead rocks lined up perfectly. It's just like, nope, you're not going this way.
Well, that'll take him to Paradox Cave as we see tstew here diving a little further into the Swamp Palace, going to opt to do the full left side. As he does not have a hookshot to continue forward.
Yep, I mean, this is hookshotless swamp. You are hoping, basically gambling that there's something on the left side in particular, because that's usually don't find the items that early. But yeah, we'll see what he comes up with here in a moment.
Ooh, that's a fire on the bottom, or is it the top of Paradox Cave?
It's in Paradox Cave. That's what we know.
In the 2 of 5 or 2 of 7.
The 2 chests.
The 7 of 9. This isn't Star Trek.
If you play Shop Sanity, it's 7 of 10.
There we go.
There's our Burna as well, our other defensive item coming out. And just somehow, we got heart pieces left to go. So that's about it. I mean, we found a fire rod that will take us to the back of Skull Woods. We can clear their dungeon.
We're just a glove away from access to Turtle Rocks, so potentially a bullet dodged here for Jexreffy, depending on if we need that dungeon for something at this point.
All right, moment of truth for left side swamp. Oh, wow. That's a second glove. Oh, interesting.
And the extra spicy bit about that is, let's just say we have a hook shot into a rock. You know.
Oh. Or Ice Palace. Like, either way, like that, if that glove leads to the hook shot, I'm gonna call this a gross seed.
Well, tstew getting a bit of a defibrillator out of that, putting some life back into the seed for him. Still a lot of ground to cover, but that definitely opens up some things that Jexreffy can't do yet.
This could be a reversal too, because you wonder at this point, like, now you got to go back to theorizing, like, when does Jexreffy make that call? Because if it's looking fairly likely that we have a hook shot behind Hookshotless Swamp having a glove for us. Like, when does he make that play?
All right, so I definitely think with the fire rod that you just picked up, we're going to see Skullwoods finished. I don't know if you got the second item out of it.
He did get 2 items out of Skullwoods, I believe.
So I would think of, with a lacking of a lot of other places to be at this point, he's probably going to at least finish that out, while he thinks about it. I think he's actually pushed towards that choice pretty soon.
Yeah, you might be right. I'm trying to think what else is left. He's got like Bombo's Tablet, but that's in the area. Yeah, there might not be a lot left, actually. Ooh, he unfortunately misses the bomb jump and has to take a drop down to the base floor again.
Either way, though, this is scouting territory for tstew. Tstew is probably not that far off from going back up the mountain once he runs out of these checks. So, I can't imagine he full clears everything he can do. Like, he's definitely going to find that fire rod before he goes into Turtle Rock. Or rather, instead of going into Turtle Rock.
Yeah. It's hard to think that he would go into TR before getting all the other checks in the mountain. Yeah.
Wouldn't have Hookshot Cave, but would have, well, he'd have 1 in Hookshot Cave and 2 in Super Bunny.
There's 1 item in Ice Palace, and there are 300 rupees.
Ooh, chat bringing up that we also have mirror checks for Jexreffy. Oh, that's a sword.
Second item in Ice Palace is indeed our 3rd sword. Good news if these guys don't have to worry about Master Sword Ganon, because these swords have all come out pretty free.
Yeah, and you'd have to think that that's a very likely sword for Jexreffy to pick up, but he has to be in Ice Palace anyway, and assuming he does the Icebreaker, he should be going that route. I don't see why you'd skip that chest.
Exactly, yeah. Unless we end up in like a crazy go mode situation where he's literally checking nothing on his way through, but I don't think we'll end up at that point. I think once he gets that glove, I think he's end up in the same situation where Ice Palace just seems like the natural next play.
Yeah, so I mean, this is definitely a situation where Jexreffy can only waste time to give tstew back if he's not immediately heading for those Titan's mitts, and it's a rough place to choose first.
Yeah, it really is. Moldorm's being a little bit feisty here. Not too bad. Yeah, Jexreffy had no problem with that.
He already took his fall in the tower. He's like, not today, Moldorm.
He gets his news that there's a key up here. We got to go to the basement to get the last item.
Very efficient, nice palace here for tstew. Gonna open up this big chest and head straight down to the boss. I believe that's all dungeon items.
Yep, we've got our last item indeed on Coldster. tstew opting not to hit the switch up top before doing Icebreaker, which when you've got Sumeria, I believe you're sure at that point that you can get here because you've got Sumeria, which could be the one potential blocker.
Yeah, the actual logic of Ice Palace is quite convoluted. There are a number of things in consideration, both keys and items. We don't have a hook shot, so it's actually possible for Cold Stare to lock the hook shot depending on whether you have Samaria and whether or not you have access to this room through the key layout. I think we did, actually, so there's a chance we could find a hook shot here.
Yeah, you might be right there. Icebreaker, of course, you can insert in some of those situations, gain Elden Logic access to the right side and get those keys that you would normally need like the hookshot to get to. So Icebreaker kind of takes this dungeon and says, you know what, even without a logic, we're gonna clear it anyway. Don't worry about it. Nope, just a heart piece.
But yeah, the long story short, as far as hookshot locking this boss, it has more to do with, are you forced to go through the right side? And the big key would have been the determining factor there. So I may have missed that, but it's entirely possible to either have the hookshot or lock the hookshot.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, well, that is enough of Vice Palace for tstew. We're out of there. That's everything. As we see Jexreffy heading to Spike Cave, another location we haven't seen yet. Also known as Lego Cave, depending on if you're a parent.
Lego Cave. I've never heard that, but now I love it.
Very, very painful. A little bit of love in return, but Jexreffy not feeling it, I imagine.
No, not really.
Onwards and upwards, we have the part 2 of Palace of Darkness for tstew. On his way through, going to clear out Helmasaur and a few more item locations that he could not get the first time. Hammerless originally.
I want to say he's full cleared this dungeon except for the boss, but I could be wrong. But I know he got right side. I know he did a hammer jump. Pretty sure he did a hammer jump. So I think he has just the boss left at this point.
I know that Jexreffy definitely did a hammer jump. I didn't actually see tstew on that. He definitely grabbed rupees though. Yeah. So he full cleared.
Yeah, he's going to the back like he's on a beeline to the boss. Yep, that's not surprising. Jexreffy's gonna, now that he has the mirror, he's gonna do a little bit of cleanup, checking locations that are opened up by it, such as K45.
Could be a big moment for him if he decides to double back towards Swamp from here.
Gotta get that mushroom. I don't think we haven't seen that mushroom turn in yet, so there's a big mystery behind that still too.
That would be a really funny place for the hookshot.
After all this, turns out nope, that glove was just there in Swamp. Just to mess up anyone who dares skip left side Swamp.
You know, still a real possibility for Jexreffy here. Although for how much he's cleared, I think he takes the time.
Yep, I feel like it's very natural to see him go ahead and take out Bombo's tablet and then be like, oh, what's left? Let's go into Swamp Palace. We don't like it without the hook shot, but maybe we got to do it.
But I mean, I think that is what's available at this point.
Yeah. I think that's his last heart piece. Yep, there it is, 14.
All right, he takes the portal instead of a save and quit. Very promising that he'll head towards Swamp at this point. Yeah, I can't think of anything else he'd do. I think he might have Graveyard Ledge and King's Tomb. There's a Helmasaur King fight for tstew. Kind of close here, but he does get that last slash in with 3 hearts left. He does not have the insurance of a fairy.
Nope, he already used his free fairy earlier, so he was down to 3 hearts, but makes it look, no problem. The Tempered Sword really kind of is nice to have because it only takes 4 hits to the head.
Well, after King Zora sold us a $500 or 500 rupee boomerang, the free upgrade. But wait, there's more. Billy May's giving us one here on Helmasaur King.
And that puts tstew ahead 5-4 in our objective crystals. It's hard to say like whether he's bringing it back that much in terms of the time because he still has to do a lot of work on the mountain to kind of get actually caught up.
Yeah, as of now, tstew not sure where he's going to find the fire rod. He's heading away from the mountain currently. Turned in the mushroom. This mushroom could be huge because that hook shot's still outstanding. And I'm almost starting to think it's either that or TR.
I would not be surprised if it was TR. TR seems like the reasonable play at this point. Like there are so many items in it. It's not like you need the hook shot in any capacity to get up there.
No such luck today.
Pick himself up a blue potion while we're here because why not?
Yeah, even if you don't need it for, say, magic reasons, just having the full health and being at 100% during, say, like a Ganon fight or a GT climb, that can save you a lot of trouble. You know, there's one less likelihood of, despawning the tower if you can just heal it. All right, well, fortune favors Jexreffy today as far as item locations being corralled. There's no way he skips left side Swamp here.
No, definitely not. Well, tstew is also cleaning up. Looks like, actually, where's he headed? What's he missing over here? Oh, is he going for Smith Chain?
Yep, definitely a wise opportunity for him. We haven't seen this yet, and actually highly likely.
Yep, that is a lot like a good a shot at taking the gloves from the left side swamp and saying, "What do these unlock?" Oh, the smith chain.
A solid example of going with what's in front of you. Tstew trying to make back the time from earlier in the race. And it's always very satisfying to do this with boots.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We love the item dash from 1.0.
Not quite a cash cab, more a cash cave. Going to take advantage of the mirror here to check to see what the transformed blacksmith has for us.
He left a little bit early there. Got to step into the room just enough. There you go. A little bit antsy, I'm understandable.
Already working on quick swaps. Unfortunately, not what we need.
Another quarter heart coming out. Nothing exciting.
Fancy use of holding an item to subvert the mirror portal. You can do that also. A good example where you might do that. A lot of people will mirror into Eastern Palace. If you carry anything, even a bomb, you will not trigger the portal.
Very useful bit of tech there, yeah. He gets another heart piece off Magic Bat. He's got a green 20. I'm pretty sure that was also another heart piece. And we're going to get his gloves in just a moment here. And tstew now has the opportunity to give us a look at the purple chest.
Yeah, it's interesting how much this is really struck pretty close to even, all things considered. I mean, boots for half an hour is definitely a big advantage, but Jex has pretty much had to full clear the game. So a lot of that potential time save lost.
Jex now has his gloves, Titan mitts, and I'd imagine he goes straight for Ice Palace. Looks like where he's headed. Yep.
Yeah, so we'll see the full clear as Tstew's wrapping up putting a couple bows in it to check his items. He's going to do the Phantom Purple Chest thing.
It's just 50 rupees for his trouble.
And I don't believe Tstew has been into desert yet because we didn't have a good means of access until he had the boots. So he'll probably full clear desert at this point. We won't see the boss in all likelihood unless he wants to chance the pedestal. He did not check that yet.
Yeah, true. He does not know that pet is just a rupee pile. So there's a chance he goes for it, but you know we'll see what decisions he makes here. But no, he has not been in desert yet, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, you got to add on top of the time investment of coming back. You don't have flute, so you got to run all the way back to the desert. You might just do it for that reason.
Yeah. Jexreffy, that's not the first time I've done that, I'm sure, taking the opportunity to use the Bombus Medallion to clean up the Pen Gator room. A little bit slower, but it definitely just kills them easy.
I really like doing that when you're low health. Personally, I'd rather have a hook shot for it, so I mean, you got to do what you got to do with what you have.
Yeah.
Nice knowledge to remember that there's a bunny beam there.
Once again, showing off that powder is indeed the greatest safety item in the game. I like that little burn shot just to deal with the berry and hit the switch at the same time. It's kind of cute.
Yeah, this is definitely a laggy dungeon. So something that, you don't want to do a whole lot of, but you do it for one room to make some strat easier. Definitely a solid way to handle the situation. We're seeing a pause buffer strat set up for the icebreaker. Jexreffy pulling it off, getting the 1 frame buffer. We'll be heading further into the dungeon as Tstew finds that shovel off of the other side of desert.
He's going to go right for it. Yep, don't blame him for that.
And I believe we remember this being a heart piece, so nothing of massive convenience or significance, but one more thing he's just got to do.
Yeah, especially when you're just like, we're still hunting progression here. Like, where are you going to find it? Yep, this is reasonable. It's not really a slow check either. He can do this pretty quickly. Yeah, we are waiting for tstew to get up on the mountain to go to Paradox Cave to find his fire rod. That's what we're going for.
Yeah, so now that he's reduced it to that, we do still have the Dark Death Mountain checks possible. And I gotta think you're doing everything when you're here.
Yes. So this is a more efficient mountain for him. Jexreffy came up here earlier when he did not have Dark Mountain access. So he's gonna make another mountain trip later to get to Turtle Rock and whatever else is up here. tstew now he does not have the hook shot, so we don't have full hook shot cave access. We can get at least Super Bunny in the bonk chest and Turtle Rock itself.
I will say though, if he finds the hookshot in Dark Death Mountain, we could see a go mode for tstew before Jexreffy.
Yeah, it'd be quite the turnaround, honestly, yeah. And at this point, it's looking fairly likely. I'm still kind of banking on it being in Turtle Rock itself, which is less convenient. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, if things pan out that way, I think it would be fair to say that tstew has saved enough time in dungeons to be ahead at that point. Does still have to do the rest of the mountain. We'll get the fire rod. Has not done any of Skull Woods, but if Jex doesn't immediately go up the mountain after Ice Palace, I would tip it in tstew's favor at that point.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's like with how the seed has worked out for him in his routing. I think he's honestly like managed to bring it back at least to being a close race, if not already having an advantage.
And of course, very hard for us to make any kind of determination beyond, hey, this person has advantages, just because until it's go mode, until we see exactly what they have left, we're kind of guessing at it.
And there's such a significant split in what they've accomplished and the items they have still. Like it is tough to calculate and say, oh, one of these players definitely has an advantage. We are in a state of having to wait to find out who's really in the lead. But honestly, that makes it a good race. Like you can't really say for sure like who's got it right now. And it's definitely at least close.
Yeah, credit to our qualifiers format that people who are almost 100, well, about 100 places separated in the qualifier rankings are this competitive. All right, Ice Palace down.
As a dead cold stare, Jexreffy picks up his 5th crystal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, that's correct. I can count.
And tstew picking up the 2 remaining components that separate their inventories, and for the most part, Fire Rod and Cane of Burna. He's going to drop down for the Dark Death Mountain check. Jexreffy saving and quitting off this mirror, I think.
Yep, that would be the case. I'd imagine he's also headed to the mountain. Nope, Sanctuary. Where's he going?
Maybe to finish Skull Woods.
Possibly Skull Woods, maybe. What else does he have up here, if anything? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, again, I'm pretty sure we already have both items in the Skull Woods, but I mean, you do have to do this at some point, so yeah. tstew picks up another bottle in with pre-filled with green in Super Bunny Cave.
Yeah, nice thing to have with the blue potion that he already has, and I believe another green potion. I shouldn't need it, but I mean, I'd never turn down free magic. So this is a bit of an oddball. This is a bonkable chest. You'd normally think, hey, you can't hook shot here if you don't have the hook shot, but this could actually have hook shot. It does not today.
I've seen it have it. It's really rude when it does have hook shot. That's one of those things that will definitely get new players. That's a real gotcha that you don't realize you can bonk to that and that it actually is in logic.
All right, so I think we had confirmed that there were no other places that we could possibly have the Quake at this point. So tstew finding out that it's Bombos here for Turtle Rock. But I think logically we knew it couldn't be that anyway. As we get the Smith chain for Jexreffy, so this is an opportunity for tstew to gain even more time back. This was completely empty for us.
Yep, it's looking more and more like TR is going to be our answer here. So we're going to have to wait and see if he finds out. But I mean, at this point, like, you're going to find hookshot and TR. It's looking pretty likely at this point, like what's left elsewise, other than having to, like, unless we get a flute in here and then it sends us to Mire, which would be kind of gross, but it wouldn't surprise me if this game pulled some shenanigans like that.
So did tstew jump into Skull Woods at all?
I think if at this point, like, if I know I'm aware that Skull Woods, I got to clean it up, but I know I have no items left in there. I think if anything, in this kind of situation where we're hunting progression in Turtle Rock, well, okay, so he's got 5 crystals, right? No, he's got
Right.
5 crystals, but Turtle Rock is a pit. You have to make one more mountain climb anyway, so like, I don't know. This is hard. I'm not good at routing. Don't ask me questions.
It's the tough thing because like if he hasn't done Skull Woods, this is definitely some time that Jexreffy still has on him. But I mean, you know, Jex currently heading towards Skull Woods, dropping off the chest. That's kind of weird. He's gonna finish Skull Woods here.
Yeah.
This is hard to estimate because I mean I don't think that there's that much separation even if tstew's heading to Turtle Rock early. There's still relatively similar completion after that. Both have to do Swamp Palace back, but that's all they have to do. Skull Woods would be a quick finish here for Jex since he's only headed to the back.
Yeah, and I can't imagine we'll have anything but a go mode swamp once we do get back to it.
Yeah, because there's really no sword or any other upgrade to really worry about at this point.
So we're watching tstew to find out when we're going to find our next items here. Probably not right away, because usually the top chests of TR get uploaded with keys, just out of requirement. Ooh, he got bullied by the chomps hard there.
But that's a rough situation where the knockback in the chest kind of put him in a position to take the immediate first frame damage. About as rough as it gets.
Yeah. Yes, we have seen, to answer chat, we have seen a check on Pyramid Fairy already, yes.
So all things considered, the world is cleared at this point, except for the dungeons we don't have access to. Really just Turtle Rock and tstew here to figure out whether it's in Turtle Rock or Flute to Mire to get the hook shot. A very efficient moth kill. Not as fast as it possibly can be, but definitely very close.
Yeah, that's a really clean Moth. They're not going to say no to that. Moth can be such a super random boss. Be able to walk in and just, like, demolish this fight in seconds is, we'll take it every time.
It's always nice to have boots for it, too, because you can get the possibility of a double hit against the block. Damage class is making it very annoying with the spikes, as most damage types that you're going to use against Mothula will be completely overridden by those spikes.
Yeah, that double poke opening is really valuable if you can pull it off. It's like half of Moth's health is just gone right at the opener. It's super good.
Alrighty, we got the vanilla key here, and the vanilla big key in the vanilla big key location for Turtle Rock. tstew having so many small keys in the front, not opting to take any chances there. I fully agree with that.
Once again, Powder, best safety item in the game, and Turtle Rock just so happens to have tons of anti-fairies. What were these developers thinking, making this dungeon so easy?
You know, it's funny, though. I think a lot of people didn't realize you could even powder those growing up.
Yeah, that's true. Even then, also the Pokies are in the large variety pack, dropping full magic and fairies for us on top of that.
All right, is this the fabled Mimic Cave hookshot? Also, thanks to chat pointing out for Jexreffy, he actually abandoned his purple chest. So hopefully he doesn't double back for that, because that wasn't very good for us anyway, but that could be a time save, actually.
I want to say on the topic of powdering fairies or anti-fairies, I want to say I learned that from Link's Awakening, because that game actually kind of teaches you that powder like changes things. And you can learn that from that game, and then that kind of like I think Link's Awakening was released after Link to the Past, but you know the powdering anti-fairies has been kind of been a Zelda staple since those two games.
I'll tell you, I flipped my world upside down when I realized that you could powder and change the pickles into the magic bag things, and things you don't see until you play Rando.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know, in Link's Awakening, they talk to you after you do that. They have several different lines.
That's fantastic. Alrighty, tstew going even further into Turtle Rock here, having come up empty out of Mimic Cave. Still going to look through, and we're going to open everything here.
Oh yeah, there's no reason we don't just full clear until we find what we need. And Jexreffy is now back on the mountain, very likely following in T-Stew's footsteps here.
The one T step. All right, we'll stew on that one for a little while. Potentially some better puns available to us than that.
Don't get chat started. You know what they'll do.
I'm very curious to find out, actually. But T-Stew, got to watch out here. No fairies to work with. Needs that safety door, or he's just going to go all the way in?
Please be careful, T-Stew. We know what happens in Laser Bridge on low health. Please don't. Oh, he's got his 14th heart piece. We're fine. There's the hook shot on Laser Bridge. Oh, man. That'll do it. Yep.
All right. He has the option to preserve a portal here, but not going to. Why would you? Or no, he doesn't. He can't get back to that ledge. Going to head immediately to Swamp, though.
Yep, so the one big difference between these guys is that T-Stew does still have to do Skull Woods. So like Jexreffy is going to be later in getting to the hook shot. But T-Stew still has some cleanup to do. So we're still excuse me, we're still waiting to see like really who has the advantage here. And I don't think we're gonna get that until we have like one of these guys has 7 crystals and we know for sure that they're in the lead.
From what I can gather here, though, considering how long it takes to get the hook shot in Turtle Rock, I think we can probably say that T-Stew has a faster go mode route overall through these dungeons. Like he's gonna have less to dig through to get through, but
yeah, probably.
Like Jexreffy definitely doesn't want to be here in Hookshot Cave. Needs to check it though. Still some opportunity though. You know, Swamp Palace, not exactly free. I mean, there's definitely some time loss potential with some of the diver down stuff. You know, Argus himself can be a little bit of a wishy-washy fight. But T-Stew is in a commanding position to clear this fast. He just needs to avoid the chip damage that's so commonly known here in Swamp Palace.
Yeah, it is easy to take damage in just odd places in this palace. And then, yeah, like I said, Argus himself, like, Argus can, like, it's a fairly random fight that the boss can choose to move in, like, a couple of different speeds on every movement cycle. And if you're not really on top of killing the puffs fast, it can just, like, you can kind of get a little bit out of hand. Pinned against the wall, taking the spin cycles. I think they deal, like, 2 hearts on Green Mail, so it's something you got to be careful of.
Yeah, and Jexreffy's key to victory here is going to be a very fast Turtle Rock. He really needs to be able to do this quickly. This is not good for Jexreffy that T-Stew's nailing this diver down quick, too, as that was about as fast as that can possibly be done.
Yep, he made it look easy. There is nothing else he's going to find that could possibly make things go faster. He is screaming through this dungeon as fast as he can.
Yeah, and another thing helping T-Stew here is that he is not going to clear any of the front of Skull Woods. He has literally no reason to do so.
Yeah, that does give him some time back. That's correct. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, an unfortunate thing that the hookshot is on the mountain, because that would be an opportunity for both of them to save time in a climb. However, I would say that barring any catastrophes from either of our runners, this might still be within the realm of GT performance.
Yeah, quite possibly. There could always be the GT key routing if it's still fairly close, and we get different routes in the tower itself. Who knows? He's just taking out Argus in style. We've got 6 crystals. He's just got to get back to Skull Woods and get his last one, then we'll be on our way up the mountain once more.
I gotta say, what an incredible turn of events throughout this seed. For the longest time, those boots felt like they were going to be the single determining factor, but
yeah,
a real gutsy swamp dive, hookless, providing Titan's mitts. That might be the thing that seals the deal here for T-Stew.
Yeah, the fact that he made that play so much earlier, he brought it back. He felt like he had to make a play to bring it back. Like if he was feeling that he was behind on the boots, he was right, and he made not necessarily a crazy call, but it was definitely a call to make, and it paid off for him.
It's like the kind of decision that you don't ever want to make. It just feels bad, but
Yeah,
you know,
like
when it pays out.
you feel like you're obligated to make a call because of how the scene has been so far, and you're just like, man, I hate this. I have to do something, or I don't know. I'm just gonna be way behind, and it just works out.
But it definitely makes sense for the item density. I can definitely see why he made that call.
Yeah, absolutely. Swamp is the most item dense dungeon in the game. 6 items in it.
All right, tstew making his way back towards the back half of Skull Woods. Jexreffy here, about halfway through Turtle Rock, maybe a little bit less.
He's got his big key. He's taken the option of grabbing the full magic refill from the middle pot in this room here, and then he'll be back to the second tube on his way to the ledge. He'll probably check Mimic Cave. I mean, he's still full clearing until he finds it, of course. But
Smooth Poke East 2, moving on to the Mimic Cave as mentioned, as we see tstew heading back towards Mothula here. Hopefully a smooth fight the same way Jexreffy had. Would definitely be a good time that way. Gonna take a little bit of chip damage from the Gibdo, but nothing to be too worried about.
yeah, Jexreffy had a really clean Mothula fight too, so we'll see how tstew does. I can't imagine he has a. It's RNG dependent, of course, but I can't imagine he doesn't execute this badly at least. Looks like he's setting up for the double poke. Gets one of them. Looks like. There we go. Yep. Moth is like I said, it's a random fight. It can be a bit of a pain sometimes, but he didn't have too much trouble with it.
Like pulling wings off of a butterfly or something like that.
Something like that.
Very painful, very fiery. For Mothula, at least. Alrighty, so we have a game we'd like to play. I believe tstew's on his way to GT, right?
We sure do. I have issued the bot start command. Go ahead and get your guesses in for where you think that big key is going to be in Ganos Tower. Pick a number between 1 and 22. We'll close that off once tstew actually gets into the tower, and we will then award some fake real internet points to whoever managed to get the correct guess.
Oh, so it's like that fake flipper or fake powder.
You know, like fake real fake powder. Yeah.
Monopoly fake money.
Real Monopoly money. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Glad we're confusing anybody who's an English as a second language speaker.
Oh, and we have a chat prediction too. Is that going to be half and half? These two. It's a time for me to lose all my channel points again.
Oh boy. Well, what do you think? What's our number going to be?
I always pick 18. 18 is the number I always get. Jexreffy's got his hook shot. He's on it. He is now in go mode. I always guess 18. It's just the number, which works out to either be Compass Room or Bob's Chest. I like Bob's Chest.
I'm a big fan myself. I guess 13 this time around for the sake of nobody else having guessed it yet.
Maybe I won't push all my channel points into this. About half my channel points, sure.
Well, after all of the tumultuous turns of this race, tstew entering in GT, we're about to cut off the game as soon as he enters. With a healthy advantage over Jexreffy, all things considered. He just got his hook shot, right?
Yep, he is got his hook shot from Laser Bridge. Looks like he's going to take a pit stop at the potion shop, get a couple safeties, and then be on his way up the mountain to do. Or no, he's not the other way mountain. He has to clear out Swamp Palace first.
Alrighty, right side first, going to be check number 1 for bombs, check number 2, rupees. We are going to have a forced left side here.
So be it. Less divergence in the big key hunt it is. Oh, it's number 3. Well, there you go.
And we'll have to at least grab the small key next door before we climb. tstew not making that mistake. That would have been actually potentially catastrophic.
Perhaps the bot decided not to.
That's what I get for
work on that.
doubling on your command. My bad.
Yeah. So well, I think we confused it. Maybe.
Yeah, I might have goofed. All right. Well, anyway, climbing up the tower, tstew, pretty much loaded for bear. Has everything you could possibly hope for that you can get in the hard item pool seed. Looking to blast through this tower as well, taking the advantage of the cape to go through the spike room. Plenty of arrows to work with for mimics here.
Gets one on the spike there.
All right, a little bit of chip damage from that red mimic. Gonna head up to the gauntlet here shortly. As Jexreffy heading into the back half of Swamp here, has all the equipment needed to make this quick, but as of right now, it's looking like it's probably not going to be enough. Not a bad diver down either, though.
No, really not. He's both these guys made it look easy. It's not a terribly hard trick to pull off once you know the motions, but it does take some practice to get to where it looks really smooth like that.
Yeah, I'm like, I got to practice this after watching that.
It's like, man, my diver downs suck compared to these guys. Wow, what am I doing?
Well, it's definitely a good time chunk of time saved when you pull it off. So, in terms of time being saved, though, tstew having a little bit of trouble with Gauntlet 3, Gauntlet 4 and 5 looking pretty smooth, but he is actually really low on health. He's going to powder this anti-fairy and hopefully have a smooth Lamulus too in spite of it. And a pretty standard Argus kill here for Jexreffy.
Got one short hop from the left lane mode. Looks like maybe pull a 2-cycle here. Ooh, another short hop. That's just rude. I know tstew does have at least one blue potion. He stopped off at the potion shop. But he got a blue potion when he was turning in his mushroom at the potion shop, so he has at least a blue.
And if I recall correctly, they found 2 green potions as well.
Yeah, I want to say he probably has 2 greens as well, because I don't think I've seen him use one of those free greens.
No, I'm very confident they haven't.
So they are pretty well set for potions, honestly, for this. And Jexreffy also stopped off at potion shop to get refills, so they're both very well set. Yeah.
All right, well, we're looking at about a GT climb difference between Jexreffy and tstew. Quite an incredible comeback from the start of the race. tstew looking in a commanding position to take this game 1. However, Ganon Silverless is not free by any means, even with potions, although he's pretty well equipped to hopefully have no issues there.
Yeah, it would take really something catastrophic for tstew to still lose this one, but we'll wait and see. We'll try not to commentator curse him here.
Yeah, as that would be the worst place possible for that. Speaking of falls,
Immediately bopped by Moldworm too. Jeez.
I mean, to his credit, he did dash directly into the head in an angle where you could have that happen.
Yeah, it's true. Usually the joust works out, but okay, tstew, that's enough.
Okay, now that one's on you.
You can't do it twice, man. Come on.
Well, I mean, surely... No, I'm not going to go there.
Third time's the charm. There's the
Third
hit.
time is the charm.
And the spin. There you go.
Chat rightly pointing out this is commentary curse 10 minutes into the past, as we are in a 10-minute delay.
True this.
Alright, well, that will give Jexreffy enough time to get into the tower prior to the Agatha fight, or at least during the Agatha fight. Yeah, it's not looking great for Jexreffy, but you never know what happens in Ganon. And it's a very fast big key.
Yeah, it is. There's going to be an easy third big key here. Just kind of score one small key for the climb. No variance whatsoever in this big key hunt.
Pretty efficient 3-cycle AGA 2 here for tstew. 2-2-2, I think. But yeah, pointing out, what chat's talking about here, I would definitely credit this tstew lead to a very efficient mid to late game routing. They're absolutely right about that. The whole going up the mountain once to clear it out on the east side, finding that early mids, all of that contributing, the timing of mirror checks, made this his race to lose, despite the very difficult, adversity early on, not having those boots.
Yeah, like just despite everything, like this is still relatively close. They're only going to be a few minutes apart at this point, but it certainly could have been like this was a very swingy scene. Like depending on the decisions that were made here, it easily could have gone either way. Jexreffy absolutely had a solid opportunity to come away with this, and tstew just made the right calls. Like I think he recognized that he was in like a behind spot and he had to make some plays, and it really just worked out in his favor.
Alrighty, we're gonna need 12 total spins. tstew getting the free one off of the phase change. Gonna switch to Fire Rod here. Hopefully getting triples. This is an awkward setup.
A little bit. Not too bad here.
Yo, the 1-frame window late though.
That was pretty good. Get the timing on lockdown.
Looking pretty efficient here as we see Jexreffy also climbing the tower. Having a good tower, actually. But that will not be enough on its own. This is tstew's destiny to control here.
And that'll do it. 12 spins down. That is the game. Get your GGs in chat for tstew. He's going to be our first place finisher, assuming he doesn't go for a victory lap. I don't think he will. Not this time.
And tstew finishing out in first place in this race with an official race time.gg time of 1 hour, 45 minutes, and 19 seconds. GG.
Well played to him. Bit of a slow seed overall. We had to hunt down some things. We had to go into Pendant Turtle Rock to find the hook shot on Laser Bridge. But, that's rando for you.
Gotta say, I'm glad this race was featured. This was pretty hectic. And Group AD off to an interesting start. This is the first race of the entire group. And I definitely think the next one between this pairing is going to be worth watching. After all, for all the ups and downs we've seen. Hopefully we'll get tstew in here for an interview.
Truthfully, I was hoping we'd get to see all the dungeons because, Group AD. Yeah.
Adds up. So we'll see if they're interested in interviews here after this race. Jexreffy still climbing the tower. We should have time, I think, to get tstew in here if he's interested. Alrighty, well, as we check to see if we'll hear from my runners today, Jexreffy here climbing the very end of the Gans Tower, keeping this as competitive as it could be, actually, all things considered. Looks like we're joined by tstew. Congratulations and GG.
Thanks, GG.
Quite a tumultuous series of events in this race. How nervous were you when you found those boots?
Very. I definitely knew I was behind at that point.
We were all kind of wondering about it. Was it just like a tracker mismark?
I just forgot to do that. And then just didn't remember that I didn't do it.
No, it's happened to all of us. Everyone who's ever played Randomizer has been there. I gotta say though, it's definitely a testament to how collected you were overall that you turned this back around. I'm sure the question on everybody's mind is the swamp decision. That was a real gutsy play. What was your head at, or where was your head like at that point?
I felt like I was behind, and I had to do something to get back not behind.
Yeah, it ended up being a really big difference maker. There was a couple of dungeons you didn't have to full clear. Jexreffy pretty much cleared the entire world. We never found Flute though between the two, runners here on the restream. So that's an unanswered question. I'm assuming GT at this point. Well, so you're up 1-0 on the series, Group AD, a competitive group. How are you feeling overall about the rest of the group? Do you think you're coming out on top on this one? You don't have to, brag necessarily if you don't want to, but I mean, this is definitely a commanding way to start.
Yeah, hopefully I can get some more wins. Well, hopefully they're not as stressful as this one, though.
Yeah, it's definitely a nail biter to start with, and an impressive way to bring it back too. This entire time, we just see a fairy just now during Jexreffy's Ganon fight. You were without a fairy because of that Palace of Darkness mishap. So doubling back on that dungeon, I guess that was probably the place where you doubled and he didn't, the other way around. So as far as this race goes, I mean, your decisions to go up the mountain to get that mirror, that was really pivotal. I guess the thing I wanted to ask about was, checking Aghanim. You ended up making the decision to go there for the Dark World. It took a while to check the Lumberjack. Is that a thing where you just didn't have boots?
Yeah, I didn't feel like I needed to check it at that point. When I did Aga, the only thing left in logic outside was Zora, and I wasn't farming for Zora, so I just made the pod play at that point.
Well, hey, it was an exciting race to watch, to see you pull ahead the way you did. As of right now, actually, we're looking at Jexreffy taking another attempt at Ganon, kind of like a couple of hugs. I noticed that you adopted for the cave strat, so I believe you had, 2 green potions walking into this fight? Jexreffy should as well.
Yeah, I had 2 green potions, and I bought a blue. So I had enough magic.
Yeah, for all the rupee farming that both of their runners today have done, you end up with quite a lot by the end of things. So did you see a collection rate on your side of things?
I got 144.
Surprisingly low, all things considered.
Yeah, I think the one thing that saved us there was the fact that we got a very easy GTBK.
Alrighty, well, we're looking to turn our attention real quick here to Jexreffy's Ganon fight. He is in Phase 4, has opted to use a blue potion right at the beginning of the phase, gets the torch glitch, and we'll have pretty smooth sword spins, it looks like, from here. Hopefully we'll get both of you guys in here to do a little trash talking, I'm hoping. No, all in good fun. This is a fun tournament to be a part of. And I'm really glad the two of you put on this race today. So for those of you still with us, this would be a great opportunity to take a look at their individual Twitch channels, give them a follow, tstew and Jexreffy, for putting on such a fun race to watch. I get the feeling all of the bot commands don't work, but their Twitch names are going to be the same as their display names here, as far as I know. Is that correct, tstew? tstew14?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so show some love to the runners there today. Definitely worth checking out their practice, as they still have, even if one of these two loses this series, they'll still have the other half of the group's phase for their group. The loser of this series will take on the other matchup that had lost, and the winner will go on to face on the winner of the other series as well.
Yeah, it is nice that we still do have a double elimination format in the brackets at least. So it's not like if you lose your first set, you're out. You're going to get to play at least 2 weeks of matches. So, And Jexreffy has done it. He's landed his 12th spin on Ganon to take him down. That is going to be his GGs. Get those emotes in chat if you've got them. And we'll get him in the room in just a moment here.
All right, as we wait for that, I also wanted to do a big shout out for 2D Tones, our tracker today, making sure that we're on the straight and narrow as far as what we're saying in commentary, or at least doing their best to keep us that way, ourselves notwithstanding. And GG to Jexreffy for crossing into the Triforce room and finishing out the first match of this series.
And we have for that an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 52 minutes, and 58 seconds.
Alrighty, it looks like we are joined by Jexreffy. GG, and that was a fun race to watch.
You know, every time in Dr. Bob's head, I always hear, go to Turtle Rock. Go to Turtle Rock.
Hey, he does a number of songs about that stuff. For those of you who are unfamiliar with what we're talking about, Dr. Bobtastic, well-known singer in the community.
I had a thought. As soon as I got Titan's Mitts and Left Side Swamp, I was like, go to Turtle Rock, go to Turtle Rock. And then I'm like, no, go to... man, that was sucked.
Well, we definitely had a lot of twists and turns in this race, and it was an entertaining race for everybody involved. While you had ended up having to collect a little bit more leading into your hook shot, all in all, you guys took very different routes to get there.
Yeah, I was surprised because with tstew being in the top 32, I basically was playing this I gotta hope that there's something trolly in this seed to really stand a chance, and so that was kind of why I routed things the way I did, where it was kind of okay, check Agina, check Catfish, check Left Side Swamp, check those things that some runners will miss and hope that that there's something there. So, that was kind of the play that I had with that.
Yeah, and I would say that the thing that really chalked up the difference here was just how early the swamp play was for tstew. If the mitts had not been found that quickly, this is a very different race.
Yeah. So, but GG's to tstew. I mean, for all of that to be 7 minutes behind him, I'll take that, even though I kind of feel like this is my one shot. So, but.
Hey, the best part is it's not your one shot. You have both game 2 and potentially game 3. I'm hoping for your sake. I want to see more races.
Hopefully,
but not to do a tip of slight towards tstew. I just want to see more Zelda. But we also have, of course, the next half of the groups phase at minimum. Whether or not you're even worrying about the relegation possibility. So we still got more opportunities for us, and we'd like to see more of you on SpeedGaming and other restreams.
To be honest, I didn't think I was even gonna qualify for this. The fact that I've even gotten this far, I'm pleased. So, GG's to tstew. Thanks, Uday and Atador and 2D Tones. It was certainly a pleasure, and I guess we'll see you guys tomorrow.
GG's, Jexreffy.
Speaking of which, folks, you said your next race is tomorrow?
Tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. Well, maybe not same bat channel. That depends on the mods.
Yeah, as we do have quite a lot of matches on the docket. I'm looking at the SG schedule. There's 3 pages of this first week. It's just wild to think about how much Zelda gets played. 128 competitors here in groups.
At the very least,
narrow that.
At the very least, 128 matches across each of the first 2 weeks. Yeah, it's wild to think we're going to somehow get that many in, and we're restreaming as many as we can. There's so much rando to do.
Speaking of which, my plug as a commentary moderator, folks, if you are interested in doing commentary, if you have any experience, even if you don't have any experience, we do have a quiz on the tournament server. If you want to try and get in on that, we need as many people as we can get. And we're very grateful for the time people are spending on this, particularly being able to share the mic with you today, Adelar. It was a good first commentary with you. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I'm enjoying the opportunity to get some comms in. I took this first week off of work just so I could have a cool vacation and do a bunch of commentary and get my own matches in for Challenge Cup and all that. And it's been a lot of fun so far.
Well, I'd like to extend another thank you to Jexreffy and tstew for joining us today. Any final thoughts or any final words you'd like to share, starting with tstew?
Not really. Just thanks for coming.
Hey, our pleasure. And Jexreffy, any final words for you as well?
Go to Turtle Rock.
That's the moral of the story. Yep. Thank you, Dr. Bob. He knows what's up.
Sage wisdom from the community certainly coming through. Well, folks, if you're looking to hear or see or watch or whatever it may be, more Zelda today, there is still more on the docket. 6:10 p.m. would have just started on SG4, Kappa versus Faraime. And then 7:10 here on this channel, you'll have Killer App 23 versus Vortex of Doom. On this channel at 9:10 p.m., you have Andy versus 1UP. And following at 12:10 a.m. Eastern Time, these are all Eastern Times. Well, apologies to everybody who is in my time zone. You'll have on SG Apathy Duck versus Wall Kicks right at the midnight hour. So a lot to watch today still, and plenty more throughout the rest of the week. I've been Eudaimonistic, joined today by Adalor. Folks, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.
Take care, everyone. We'll see you for the next one.